Greetings, Dr. Alexander and Mr. Andreas. We are from Group 3 and our paper titled The Adaptation of Distance Learning Process During the COVID-19 Pandemic Using Virtual Educational Spaces in Metaverse. This is a systematic literature review about exploring advantages and disadvantages of using Metaverse for educational purposes, because Metaverse has an excellent potential to become a medium for the educational fields. Since the pandemic began in the early 2020, the majority of educational activity was moved to an online space, such as Zoom, YouTube, Google Meet, etc. Because of that platform only offered 2D experience, some educational institutes experiment with a 3D platform, such as the Metaverse, using an AR/VR technologies which enable users to have an immersive experience. This is our literature review, our review planning. This is our systematic literature review. It tends to better understand potential of implementing Metaverse for educational purposes and how to further improve the current methods. Our selection methods, and this is our research question. Our first research question is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of Metaverse in contrast to traditional teaching methods? Our second research question is, which subject and grade suits the best for implementing Metaverse as their learning teaching tools?
The third section is focused on the articles. This section briefly discusses several key topics regarding the purpose of this paper from the papers selected in the preceding section. First, what is distance learning? Distance learning is a form of class in which learning teaching activities are done at different time or spaces while the instructor and learners do not meet face-to-face. The current pandemic situation forces educational instances to adjust to online learning instead of being in a classroom. Several popular distance learning tools such as Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and virtual worlds are used to evaluate the compatibility of using those platforms in diverse learning subjects. One of the virtual space platforms that are mainly used for teaching is Second Life. The most popular workshop that have been done there is the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics workshop carried out by the Nagoya University of Technology in Japan. Second, what is Metaverse? Metaverse is the digital world as a new world expressed through digital media such as gadgets and the internet. In 2021, this term was updated and popularized again by Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg and refers to a continuous virtual world or multi-user environment referring to the combination of physical reality with digital virtuality. Several main tasks of using Metaverse for educational purposes are: the teacher should carefully analyze how students understand the Metaverse. Teachers should design classes for students to solve problems or do projects creatively. Education Metaverse platforms should be developed that prevent misuse of student data. Metaverse provides infinite and impactful educational experience for users. Teachers and students can wear virtual reality headset or use a web browser on a computer to enter this world, regardless of their real-life location.
And now for the fourth part, we have result and discussion. And in this chapter, we will cover paper review results, paper survey results, and also we will answer our research questions. And so, here are several of our papers that we review, and these are 6 of the titles of the papers. And here, these are the summary of the previously reviewed paper. The first summary is from the first paper, which consists of a survey of Korean elementary students using 18 Metaverse measurement factors shows the result that 97.9% of students with previous experience using the Metaverse and 95.5% of them consider it close to their everyday life. The second summary is from the third paper, which talks about virtual learning was held using the virtual world by Nagaoka University of Technology, Japan. Virtual spaces make online learning more attractive and engage students better. The third review is from the paper 4, which consists of results from the research show that a virtual learning environment can be a great benefit for universities that predominantly offer face-to-face learning with PLE as an auxiliary teaching platform. And the fourth summary you have is from paper 6, which talks about using Metaverse in universities can effectively enrich the life of college students and their faculties, although it is still developing and restricted in some locations. Okay, so there is a table here that shows the difficulties in distance learning. There are 7 reasons, and the most reason that has high difficulty is lack of interaction with other lecturers or students. And here there are 2 more tables. The first one showing experience of distance learning in Metaverse or virtual space for teacher and student, and both of them showing a positive result by teacher for 59.3% and student for 87%. And below, there's another table that shows changes after using Metaverse. There are 3 main reasons that shows changes. The first one is lack of or absence of communication and interaction with other lecturers or students, with 30% having difficulty. Next one is difficulties and delays in doing assignments because there are no people or sources to help, with 28% having difficulty. And the last one is ease of learning using Metaverse tools and technologies, with just 15% having difficulties. And to answer our research question, the first question we have is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of Metaverse in contrast to traditional teaching methods? Okay, so for the advantages, we have realistic environment because they can customize and design the virtual spaces. Second one is physical interaction. It's better in Metaverse than general distance learning. And the third one is security, because teacher has complete control over students. And for the disadvantages, the first one is person with special accommodations might face difficulties when learning in the Metaverse. And this technology, the Metaverse, might give someone a fear addiction because due to the overusage of technology. And the third one is limited accessibility for several schools and universities due to the high-end technologies. And for the second research question is, which subject and grade suits the best for implementing Metaverse as their learning teaching tool? And after several papers we review, we conclude that Metaverse is best implemented for second grade students who take medical science, economics, and biological science as their study programs.
The fifth section is the conclusion. Metaverse has a great potential in the future to be explored deeper in the educational field. Students can practice difficult activities through these virtual simulation environments that are difficult to produce due to various reasons, such as high-risk activities like fire scene, high-cost activities like trip to outer space, even doing something impossible in real life like flying. Students may improve their strategic and comprehensive thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and other necessary skills for the real world. With a lot of research as a helping foundation, future studies can be done by investigating the preferable subjects to use Metaverse as its learning teaching method and how to achieve even better learning outcomes in an effective way using the Metaverse. Thank you for watching our presentation. For future inquiries, you may reach out through the comment section.